Hey guys, welcome back to the CulePodcast. Welcome back to another video. On today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about Fermin Lopez because unfortunately, Fermin Lopez he joins Barcelona's injury list. We're going to be talking about Raphinha because he recently had an interview with Rac1 in which he talked about his future. He talked about his adaptation and struggles at Barcelona. It's a very eye-opening interview and real interview from Raphinha. And then as well, we're going to be talking about Alejandro Balde because he himself also gave an interview. And lastly, I do want to talk about Ronald Koeman and Frenkie de Jong because Ronald Koeman, he had some words to say in regards to Frenkie de Jong. And guys, if you guys missed my earlier video, I did make a video talking about Joan Laporta's press conference. It was a long video, and so it's understandable if you guys missed it. But John Laporta, he basically talked about a wide range of Barcelona topics. If you guys missed that video, make sure to go check it out. But guys, before I get started in the video, make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms. Everything's posted down below in the description. Go over there and check me out. That way you guys stay up to date with everything that I do on the channel. But guys, let's get straight into the video. All right, guys, let's get straight into the video and let's talk about Fermin Lopez because unfortunately, Fermin Lopez, he did get injured today in a training session with the Spanish U21 national team. And right now he injured his quadricep, and it's being reported that he is going to be missing roughly 3 to 4 weeks. Now, a silver lining in Fermin Lopez's injury is that we are in the international break at the very start, and so Fermin Lopez is roughly going to have 2 weeks in order to recover. Without Barcelona playing any of the games, and then depending on whether he returns in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks in which he is going to be missing. But it's a shame that Fermin Lopez has gotten injured, and I would say that it was a little bit of irresponsible from the Spanish national team bringing Fermin Lopez, knowing that he just recently played in the Olympics, knowing that he recently played in the Euros, and I just was it really necessary to bring in Fermin Lopez? That's my question, but hopefully he is able to get better. And fortunately, it isn't a long-term injury because Barcelona, they're down to the bare bones in that midfield. But now, guys, I'm going to be talking about Raphinha because he did give an interview with Rac1. And he talked about various topics. I talked about, his potential exit from the club. He talks about his adaptation to the club. And it was very eye-opening. But this is what Raphinha had to say in regards to a potential exit. And he's, 100% being real. He says, "Did I think about leaving? Yes. The first 6 months were tough for me and my family. After the World Cup, I improved and was able to finish the season well. I felt more at ease, but the beginning was very difficult." Raphinha continues. He said, "It was hard for me to adapt. I knew what I had to do, but I didn't expect it to be so difficult on a personal level. A few times I thought about leaving. Barcelona is a huge club and it's normal to struggle. I wasn't used to this, but it passed quickly." And I think he talks about now the rumors in regards to his exit. He said, "It's frustrating to see rumors about leaving. It's normal. Every day there's a different story and it gets annoying. My mind has always been here. Every season I aim to do better than the last and prove that I'm capable of being here for many years. I've received many offers, but being at Barca is the best for me." Right there, showing that commitment to Barcelona. And he's being honest, saying like, "Hey, I struggled in my first opening months and I did think about leaving, but now that I've adapted, I want to stay at Barcelona." Raphinha continues. He says, "You read that you're leaving and the club doesn't count on you. The press speaks poorly of you. And that's something that is going to happen. Bad performances, bad results from the team. The media is going to create their own scapegoats and they're going to target the players that they feel is, at fault." Now Raphinha talks about being chosen as the captain. He says, "I never would have imagined becoming one of Barca's captains. It is very exciting and gave me a lot of confidence as it shows that the team trusts me and I feel important in the squad." And due to that increased confidence, potentially, you're seeing these improved performances from Raphinha because Raphinha under Hansi Flick, he's gone up a level, and from his time under Xavi, and he even talks about the differences between Xavi and Flick, and he says we work a bit more physically. It's normal. Everyone has their own way of working. Xavi had a way of thinking that focused on the ball. Hansi has a different approach and believes that being physically stronger will help us more. And that's something that in the world of football is being more and more prevalent. teams are just so intense, teams are so physical that you have to match them because the talent gap is closing, and with the way of football being more emphasis on systems and player profiles, then it makes it all more important for Barcelona to be basically at a bare minimum physically competitive with the other teams. And he did talk about the goals of Barcelona, and he says the minimum goal is to win the Champions League. It has to be that. Playing for Barcelona means the goal is to win every title. If you're in a club like this and you don't aim for that, you're in the wrong place. We did talk about this on yesterday's episode. If you guys missed that, go check it out. And the last thing he talks about are the physical and mental struggles that he had at Barcelona. And it says this: I've had many moments where I wanted to give up, quit football, and move on with my life. It's a profession that breaks you. There were times I came home and didn't know if I wanted to train again in the morning. I've cried a lot. Even here in Barcelona, I do psychological work, and it's very important. Everyone should do it. Falling in depression and giving everything up is very easy. Right there. Wow. That's a big quote from Raphinha because he potentially talked about if I didn't know if I wanted to train again the next morning, and that's just giving up, just basically quitting football and just saying, hey, I've had enough. And that's something that a lot of top professionals deal with because the pressure is so intense, the expectations. It's very, very easy for things to get difficult on you, and for you just to say, hey, I've had enough. But props to Rafinha for sticking through. And now look how things are for him. Raphinha right now is experiencing the fruits of his merits and having a fantastic time at Barcelona, scoring goals, and hopefully this can continue. But now, guys, we talked about Raphinha. I do want to give a quick confirmation in regards to Ghanaian gem Abdul Aziz Issah. Barcelona, they have confirmed the loan signing of the Ghanaian player, a player who I did talk about in one of my previous videos, a player who Barcelona they are excited to see. And the agreement includes a purchase option for the club at the end of the season. He's going to be here until next year in the summer of 2025. And hopefully he is able to have an exciting season. He is able to impress in Barcelona Athletic. And if he does, then he's able to renew and potentially make his way into the first team. But it's fantastic to see Barcelona tapping into the African market, a market in which so many talented players, come out of. And knowing how intense the competition is in South America and North America, we want all the best possible talents in Barcelona, and we wish Abdul the very best. But now, guys, we're going to be talking about Alejandro Balde because Alejandro Balde, he did talk about those injuries. He did talk about himself, how he's feeling, and as well he talked about Nico Williams, and he said this in regards to that. I've had a long-term injury, but I feel good. I've been training fine for 2 months now, and I feel very good physically. I've been taking it little by little, picking up the pace. The truth is that the 2022-23 season was my best. Everything went well. The idea is to get back to that level, both personally and collectively. And the thing is with Alejandro Balde, guys, is that Alejandro Balde in that debut season, he was absolutely phenomenal. He was literally one of the best fullbacks in the world. And if he is able to get back to that level and show that consistency and be injury free, then my God, do Barcelona have an amazing fullback on their hands. And hopefully he is able to get back, and even talks on what he can improve on. He says, I'm only 20 years old. I can see many things, mainly defending and decision making. And that's something, that is totally normal. Alejandro Balde, he's only 20 years old. He has to grow, he has to gain experience, he has to mature in level in football, and that's something that's going to come naturally. And of course, also something that I will mention is to fix that crossing because Balde's crossing is, I would say, one of his weak points. But he continues and he says, we try not to read the press too much. We only think about the players in the squad. We're not focusing on who comes or not. We have to work well with the players that we have. And right there, just putting aside to the media, as they can be a little bit toxic. Then he gets asked on if the player needs new signings, because Raphinha, he said that the squad doesn't need new signings, and Balde said we have good players and we still have a lot of players out due to injury. For example, Gavi and Araujo will definitely help us a lot when they return. And Balde, he doesn't really talk about making new signings, because I don't think that's, I would say, a very productive. Say, hey, the squad needs new signings, because then you're maybe potentially pointing out some weaknesses in the squad. But in the back of their mind, I do think that they say, hey, we need more options. The squad is thin, and that's something that the board and Laporta and Deco, they're gonna have to work on. The squad is thin. They are going to have to reinforce Barcelona if we are to compete for all trophies, which is the objective. And now, the last quote I do want to talk about in regards to Alejandro Balde, well, the last two quotes, is in regards to Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. Balde says, Nico is a good friend, one of my best friends in football, but hey, a decision was made and it has to be respected. I talk to him pretty much every day, and everyone decides what to do with their life and their career. Very, very interesting. Best friends talking very often. Hopefully, those conversations includes Barcelona saying, hey, when are you coming to Barcelona? When are you going to be joining? And as we know, Nico Williams, he has left the door open to leaving Athletic Club. That's something that Barcelona could potentially explore next summer. And the last quote in regards to Alejandro Balde is he says, I'm 4 years older than Lamine Yamal, and I'm only 20. He's very young, but he plays like a veteran. To do the things that he does at that age, I think it's incredible. I knew that he would break into the first team when he was 16 years old. What what an insane thing to say about Lamine Yamal. And Lamine Yamal, just 17 years of age and already one of the best wingers in the world. My God, do Barcelona have an amazing talent? And Balde recognized that. Balde recognized the talent that Lamine Yamal has. And Barcelona from now on, they just have to do their best to keep him fit and be out there on the pitch, because when Lamine Yamal is out there, he's able to create magic. And the last thing I want to talk about on today's video, guys, is in regards to Frenkie de Jong. Because as we do know, Frenkie de Jong is currently injured and he's suffering from an ankle injury, and he is expected to return, after the international break. But there are still some doubts. And Ronald Koeman, the Dutch national team coach, he says Frenkie's still injured. It's worrying. It's been a long time. He's improving, but he's still not fit. There's an injury to his ankle, and he wants to take his time to recover. And we do know that Ronald Koeman in the past has, basically bashed Barcelona a little bit, maybe having some bitter feelings over his departure. But Frenkie de Jong recovering. Ronald Koeman says it's worrying that he hasn't been able to recover. Hopefully, he is able to come back. But that's something that we're gonna have to see towards the end of the international break. Is he going to be back? Is he not? Who's going to be riding the situation? Is it Barcelona and the board, Laporta, or is it Ronald Koeman? But guys, that was it for the Barcelona news of the day. Make sure to check out my earlier video talking about Joan Laporta's press conference. And what do you guys make of everything that I discussed on today's video? Unfortunately, Fermin Lopez is injured and will be out for roughly a month. Barcelona, they confirmed the signing of Ghanaian gem Abdul Issah and Balde and Raphinha. Interesting quotes in regards to Barcelona and some other Barcelona topics. But guys, as always, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace out, guys.